the most important election in the history of mankind, November 5th, 2020.
Good evening and welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Pace, and here we are tonight to fight CPS and stop taking our children. This is a live podcast that you found me on Facebook, Fight CPS with Bob Pace. I am broadcasting on YouTube, and I'm using the StreamYard application. I'm on 7 days a week, twice a day, Monday through Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time and in the evening at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Both shows are 1 hour. On Sunday, every Sunday I go to church, and so I come on at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, 8 to 9. So I'm on a couple hours ahead of schedule. And the other time is a week from tomorrow. Next Friday is Friday Night Lights. I have a football game that I'll be attending. And I'll have my show at 4 o'clock on Friday, the 4th of October. That's 4 to 5 instead of my normal time of 7. So those are any difference. I will let you know if there are any differences at all. Now, I want you to know that this show is very informative. It's also interacting. There are 4 ways that you can interact with this podcast. One of the first ways is to be in this room, like right now, that you're in this room listening and taking notes. Please subscribe down below if you want to subscribe. Also use emojis like smiling faces and thumbs up and hearts. Also, if you want to see the notification when this podcast is on, click the notification button. Also, send me stars. That'd be really nice if you could send me stars in appreciation. So that's your first way. Your second way is if you want to make a comment or you have a question to ask. And I'll try to help you. Also, I have followers in my room that will try to help you also. Now, when typing in the comment or your CPS question, please show your name, first name only, the city or the county, the state or the country, the city and country. You're probably saying country. Yeah, I'm open to all the countries. I have right now 14 countries that have texted in. I have from Bangladesh to India to the Middle East. I don't know what country it was because it was all in Arabic. I have the continent of Africa from the western province of South Africa up to the north end of Africa on the coast there, Liberia. Then to Central East Africa, I have Rwanda near Lake Victoria. And I have Mozambique north of South Africa and across Madagascar, the island of Madagascar. Then going up to Europe, I've had England, Scotland, Wales, part of the UK, and then I had Denmark and Sweden. Across the pond, I've had North America. I've had Canada, many provinces in Canada, and then, of course, all 50 states, including Washington, D.C. I've had Mexico, and then further south to South America, I've had Guyana. And Guyana's on the coast. It's east of Venezuela, north of Brazil, on the east coast of South Africa. Then across the Pacific to the land down under, I've had Australia, both the Gold Coast and Melbourne area of the state of Victoria. So those have been the people that have texted and comments that had questions. So I open them all. This is a room. We're supposed to help each other. Try to be courteous and kind to one another. And we're here to talk about the child protection system. That's what CPS stands for me. It used a lot of places, but the child protection system includes all the different acronyms in every state. You'll find in California, it's the Child Protection Services. In Arizona, it's Department of Children's Services. In other states, it's something else. But when I say the CPS, I mean the Child Protection System. It is the branch of social services that's supposed to protect our children from neglect and abuse. Further, they're supposed to help you with families in need of food, of housing, clothing, educational, medical, and work. They're supposed to help you. And then if they have to take your family apart because of extreme danger or not safe for your children, then they're supposed to do what's called family reunification. They're supposed to patch the family back. That's what CPS is supposed to do. That's what the social workers, the branch of social services are supposed to do it. Sadly, that isn't the case. The majority of the people that call in or text in say they have extreme bad cases where they've taken the children that weren't in extreme danger. My kids were nowhere near of immediate danger. They were taken forcefully and wrongly. CPS is very corrupt. They're not your friend. They'll tell you lies, and they're not transparent, and they expunge the money. The money is the thing that is behind which runs CPS. It's $1 trillion business. They make more money because the money comes from the federal government to the state, and the state in turn turns it to the county. The money's never accountable. It's no one's being a watchdog or how the money's being spent. In fact, in Kentucky, in the Richmond area, there is $1 million missing. They already have one guy connected with embezzling funds for $400,000 of it. So it is a big problem, and the embezzlement of funds, because they use the money to pay the social workers bonuses and incentives to steal our children, to traffic our children into foster care, and to alienate our children. Those two things are wrong. You don't alienate, and you do not traffic the children. That's illegal. Now, also be complete with your CPS case when you type in. Tell me, what kind of a family your makeup is, how many kids, were they involved, the allegations in detail, and how the children were taken, and then where you at on your case. So that is the second way that you can participate. A third way is to be our guest on this broadcast. Now, I can have up to 9 guests. I have a total of 10 spots I can have with StreamYard. And so to be our guest, all you're going to do is email our show producer, who works very hard behind the scenes. And I thank her for doing her job. She will put you on the show. You email her at grace@vincentwdavis.com, grace@vincentwdavis.com, and she'll gladly help you get on the podcast. She will give you the link to StreamYard. Don't lose it. Hang on to it. If you get knocked off, reuse it again. It's a good link. Further, there's no smoking or eating on the show. She'll tell you other things that you can do and not do. Also, we do not use the names of children, judges, or social workers. So it's really important that you have, a good connection. Computer is more preferable than a phone, but a phone is acceptable. And you'll be able to be just like me, see the comments, and be able to help other people. I can take 9 of you for a total of 10 spots on my show. So just email grace@vincentwdavis.com. The fourth way is the phone call to my office number. Now I'm going to put that up, which means now you can call in if you want to on my phone. My phone number is 626-698-0990. That will take you to my phone. It's my office number. It's a direct line. And I use Vonage as the application for the phone. So that's 626-698-0990. I can only talk during the showtime hours. If you call me before or after, I can't talk. So it's important that you call me during the showtime hours. So those are the 4 ways. Be in the room, listening, and commenting. Also, the second one is by sending text messages. And the third one is to be a guest on my podcast. And last, to call in. Those are the 4 ways you can interact with this show. Now, a lot of times I'll have people that pop in and out. I have 2 regulars that have come into this room a lot lately. One is named Faye Manley, and she's from Richmond, Kentucky. She's a single mom, and she's been trying to raise her son, who's 22, but he's a special needs kid, and she's trying to get guardianship of him. He's over the age of 18, so you need to get guardianship so that someone can take care of special need children. So she normally joins me quite frequently. So she had a daughter, but she had to let her daughter go. She had to choose between keeping her son. Oh, there's Faye. Oh, Faye, I just sent you a necessary comment, but thank you for joining. This is Faye. She says, hello, everybody. Hope you're having a blessed evening. And I'm glad you're here, Faye. You're instrumental to making this podcast a success. The other person that I'm trying to get is Natalie. And she usually comes on. So let me see if I can get a hold of Natalie there. She's from West Hollywood, and she has 2 children, and she's a single mom, but she doesn't see either one of her children. But she's been a part of the show. I don't know if I'm ever going to see Danielle again because I think that she is no longer has the time to help me. And so Faye's been filling in for a lot for her, and I thank you, Faye. So tonight I want to know, what would you guys like to discuss? There's many ways we can go with this podcast. I've told you of how to interact with this podcast, but I can talk about my case. I can talk about the rules that I've come up, which are very important. I can talk about what a social worker is like, or how the how the CPS works and the pitfalls of CPS. Also, I can talk about topics. I have 75 topics open up, and I have questions and answers on discussion topics that I found in Quora. Quora is a application that people write in questions and then other people give answers. So I'm trying to make sure that my phone is set up right. Okay, Vonage is set to go, or I'm set up there. So, Faye, is any idea what you'd like to talk about tonight, or have me go over? Would you like to call in and we could do questions and answers? You bring up topics and then we could try to answer them. What would you like to do, Faye? Now, I'm broadcasting this podcast live from Surf City, USA in Southern California. All right, Faye says we'll go to Cora. So I'm going to go to Cora, and I get daily sent a lot of questions with marvelous answers about CPS. So we'll see what we have here. Okay. Now we have a question here, and I have to open up further to read it. Now the question is, what does a judge ask a child in a custody case? What does a judge ask a child in a custody case? Well, this gentleman here, Keith, who is a private judge who's retired from Los Angeles Superior Court, said this. This is from a judge. He says, I've interviewed many children in child custody disputes. The particular questions asked vary, but what I did in every interview was to make sure that the child understood that I was very much interested in any preference for physical custody the child may have, but the child did not get to choose. See, the child does not get to choose. The judge gets to choose. He says the judge chooses. I would certainly take the child's preference into consideration, but it's very important to me that the child understands that I was protecting the child by expressly not empowering the child to choose. These child interviews were always in chambers without the presence of the parents, but with the presence of the lawyers. Now, they say the presence of lawyers. Well, most of the time, a lot of you using court-appointed lawyers, not only for yourself, but also for your children. These court-appointed attorneys are not the right kind of attorneys, and so I can see where this is going. It's almost like the judges and social services believes the allegations, and there are a lot of allegations that are falsified, made against parents. They're made up and hiding it from children. See, that's why I don't like CPS. They don't involve the children. They don't tell the children how the parents are doing or what they're doing if they're taken apart. And again, the parents aren't told how the children are doing either. It's a sad state. They try to hide all the facts, and then they're supposed to know where the best preference is. Now, he says he also talks over with his clerk or his bailiff, which is a sheriff in California. And so essentially to be a witness that nothing inappropriate was said or done in the course of the interview. Well, I'm glad. But the problem is the clerk, the sheriff, the bailiff, and the court-appointed attorneys and the social work attorneys all rub the same hand. They all have dinner together or play golf together. So it's really sad. So Faye said a nice, interesting things. She said, this is what Faye's answers. Where is the child happiness at mostly? He can take a child's interests into consideration. Yeah, the judge can, but I can guarantee the judge is cahoots with social services. They want to make money. It's a money thing. The lawyers weren't allowed to question the children directly, but I always ask the lawyers if there's things I should ask that I haven't already asked. By the time our discussion was done, the child understood because I would get the child to say enough to show me the child actually understood. I was trying to protect the child from any future feelings of guilt or responsibility for having chosen one parent or the other. The thing is about choosing parents and one over the other. When you get a corrupt CPS and a corrupt courtroom and court-appointed attorneys that aren't very professional, how is the children ever going to be in a system where there's protection? CPS in custody cases. Well, I'm not talking about divorce, Faye. I'm talking about um, dependency court and determine where the child is going to be placed with. I think the question was, let me read the question again. Maybe I read it wrong. In a custody case. Well, I don't know if you mean divorce in a custody case. I think CPS, when they take your children, it's custody of the children. Who has a right over those children? The parents, the foster care, the family members? Who does? So I think this is related to CPS. If I'm not, then I guess I asked the wrong question. Now, he says, I, of course, make the point to the parents in the courtroom the child did not get to choose, and the child cannot be blamed for whatever custody decision the judge makes. Interesting, some children are unhappy they didn't get to choose, but there were other children who were relieved, sometimes palliatively relieved, that they didn't have to choose between their parents. Well, yeah, those are the children that have been corrupt somehow. They believe their parents are awful. Not all parents are bad. Unfortunately, parents do make mistakes, but it's been proven scientifically that the best parents are the biological parents. So I don't know if that's a good answer or a bad answer by the judge. It may be a divorce case. Well, here, how about this one? Here's another one. Here's the question. Have you ever seen conditions inside a house so deplorable that you consider calling CPS? Now, this is definitely sounds like a CPS. And the person answering the question is Kay, and she has a background of formal investment. I guess investment into something there. She was former investment operations of Wells Fargo's bank. This is Kay's answer to the question, and some of you may have answers too. I used to carpool to work. One of the women was raising her granddaughter. They were really poor. She was talking about sewage coming up through the bathroom drain. I was appalled and worried about her toddler granddaughter. I called CPS and explained to them I wasn't trying to get the girl removed. I just wanted them to get some help. That's exactly what happened. A couple weeks later, the woman said someone had called CPS and she now was getting help with the bathroom situation. And she was also signed up for some other programs that would help her in the raising of her granddaughter. She was going to start receiving child support from both her daughter and her granddaughter's father. And I didn't say I had called. I was embarrassed and felt I had to call, that felt something needed to be done. Well, what do you think about that answer, Faye? As if a social worker does its job. But so far I've only talked to 3 social workers on here. That's a good point. You know what Faye says? This is what Faye says. I never call CPS on the parents. First, I offer to help her first. I think you're right, Faye, because 9 out of 10 times, it seems lately, CPS is going to take the children out of the home and cause the parent more heartache, more harm to the child. They're not going to protect the child. Yeah, she was lucky and got a worker that did her job. I'm not saying all CPS workers are bad. It's just that the majority of cases, over 500 people I've talked to, have disclosed a social worker is bad. Faye would tell in her case, her social workers were corrupt, the police were corrupt. In my case, the social workers were corrupt and the police were corrupt. And we're in 2 different states. She's in Kentucky, I'm in California. I'm not saying all social workers are bad or all CPS, the child protection system, is bad. It's just that the cases we've been hearing about and we personally have discussed. We have a call here. Good evening, and who am I talking to?
Hello?
Yeah, hello, good evening, and who am I talking to?
My name is Raquel Vargas.
Okay, very much welcome. You're Raquel Vargas?
Yes, Raquel Vargas
Okay, I had a little trouble pronouncing your name. And where are you calling from? Where are you calling from?
from Chicago.
Okay, you're in Chicago, Illinois. And do you have a CPS case?
Yes, I have a CPS case.
Okay, and what is the situation of your family structure right now? Is the father involved?
No, the CPS case is already closed in the juvenile court.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I make my services 2 times for 7 years, and DCFS give to my aunt guardianship because the baby grew up there. When my baby born, they take the custody of my family, and they told me if you make the services, all the services, we can give you your baby back. And I believed them. And after that, I did my services, and all the time they put excuse on me, a lot of excuse. But when I finish my services, they go to the court and told the judge it's too late because the baby grew up in this case. So the baby the baby wants the baby loves the foster parent and all that stuff. So the judge decide, okay, we can give you the guardian. So, and I told the judge in the court, it's impossible because this first told me if I did my services, the baby go back with home with me. And the GL from my daughter is they say no because the baby grew up there. It's not fair. So there's a best interest for the child. So right now, I don't know what it can do because I need to go back to court and appeal for this decision. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean, Raquel. We have Raquel Vargas from Chicago, Illinois. How old is your daughter now?
She's 8 years old.
And when was she taken from you? How old?
What do you mean?
Well, was she like 1 year old when she was taken, or 2 year old, or how old was she?
No, the DCFS take when I do the baby when in the hospital. They take me when I do the baby. 3 days later, when my baby born, they take me out from me.
Okay, and were you a husband and wife, or girlfriend, boyfriend, or how did you get pregnant?
My husband. No, this is my husband. I have my husband. I'm still with him already, but the first month from when my baby born, the first month, the DCFS told my husband, you have to divorce. If you want the baby with you, you have to divorce to her. And they say, my husband saying no because I mean we already married 1 year ago. What are you talking about? So my husband saying no. And we make the services for 3 years and a half. When the baby had 3 years and a half, we go to court, and the first judge say, oh, the parents make the services, all the stuff. Okay, we make the go return home. Okay, that's perfect. This is the first time. So when the baby's coming overnight, the baby's with coming for overnight, my family, my aunt, make me talk to my brother, my old brother. My brother come to my home because he don't have a house to go to sleep and all this stuff. So my brother was homeless. So he come to my home. We talking all this stuff. So he made me. He called me the police. One day he called me the police, and the social worker catch me. Like he don't tell me. He come to home and check the baby. What's going on with my daughter? It's everything be fine. So the same moment when my brother called me the police, the social worker come in the same time, and so the social worker called DCFS, and when he come to my home and see the police is outside to my home, he was, he made angry, very angry. He said, "What's going on here?" And I tried to explain to him. My brother called the police because we fighting like verbal. We don't fight in physical, only verbal, because he was in depression and the same. My girls, my two girls, because I had to. This is the first. So the girl was in my room, the second floor. So in the same moment when he saw the police outside to my home, the social worker called DCFS, the hotline, in the same moment. So they take my baby out to the home. He take my child from hospital, and he say a lie story. He say the baby is scared, the baby crying, the baby all this stuff is not true, because my baby never heard about the problem with my brother. So never heard, because she was in the second floor with my husband, watch TV. I tried to explain the judge in the same moment in the court, but the judge don't want to hear me because my attorney say quiet. So let me explain to him the stuff, but the judge don't want to hear about the argument, what's going on in the moment. So the clear point is, the social worker put my case back again. So we make the services again. We make parenting classes, domestic violence, because I was fighting with my brother in verbal. That's what he say. So he put my baby back again. So we make the services for the 6 months first, and we can do very perfect. The 6 months first, we go to therapy. We make I was through to complete my domestic violence. We take everything perfect, but they always put an excuse. They say no, because maybe you in the future you're fighting with somebody else and the baby's in the home, or maybe the baby's show you what you're doing. And I say no, because
what did they charge you with? What did they charge you with?
Domestic violence.
Okay, so you're charged with domestic violence. It is wrong to argue in front of children. You have no physicals going on. You don't argue with children. You do what's called a timeout. You go, if you leave or your brother leaves, one of you's got to leave, do a 5-minute timeout, and then come back and talk about it. But if you argue in front of children, that is grounds for CPS to take your child. Their child is in an endangered situation. That's one of the reasons they can take a child, is if they're in imminent danger, because just arguing could escalate to suddenly start throwing fists or the child be caught up. You never want to argue in front of children. Now, I didn't know you had another child. How many children do you have?
I have 2 children with me. I have 2 children with me right now.
The child at the hospital, that was taken from the hospital?
Yes.
Why was it taken from the hospital?
Because I have one case before this child. I have one case with my first baby. This is the second baby. What I talked to
Oh,
you
okay.
about my first
So
baby.
you have your first baby. How old was your first baby?
He had 10 years.
Okay, he's 10 years, so you've had him for some time. Now, the second baby
Okay.
is 7 now. At the time the baby was born, that's when they took your second baby. The first baby, they took
Yeah.
it. Now, why? My question is that,
Let me explain you.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, let me explain you.
All right, Rachel.
My first baby,
Thank you.
this year first involved in my life when my first baby have 7 months, okay? Because when my first baby have 7 months, I have a lot of arguments with my ex partner. We fighting because he always don't come to home and all the stuff. And one day my mom called the police. The police come to home because before my mom called the police, my ex-partner hitting me and hitting the baby the same time. So he left to the home, and I was trying to talk with my and told her what's going on. So my mom called the police. The police coming to home, and they called DCFS. DCFS taking my baby away, and they take from hospital. They take me from hospital too. So they put me in one room and my baby's second room on the side, and they told that's why they opened the case and we go to court. So they say I hitting the baby, but this is not true. I never hitting my baby. And we tried to explain there, then my ex-partner hitting me and the baby, but they don't want to believe me. So they open the case. We make the services. So they talk with the father. The father crying. The father say a lot of stuff on me in front of the.
Is the father the same father of both? Is the father the same father of both children?
No.
So were you married before your second husband? Were you married before your second husband?
Never. Only live together.
So you guys had a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship and you had a child together. And
Yes,
whatever happened with that case? Whatever happened with that case?
Okay. They closed the case already. They give the custody from the father, the same person to hitting the baby.
So they gave the custody to the man that you live with, your boyfriend.
Yeah, my ex-boyfriend. Yeah.
Why did they give him custody to the father if he physically hurt you?
Because he made the services. If they say he's a nice person, he complete the services. He did all the stuff that what the DCFS say, and he don't contact me anymore. He broke out with me because DCFS told him don't have any more relationship with me. So he married with somebody else, and they give my baby to him and another girl what he married. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, Rachel. So what's happened is that your first relationship didn't work out with their firstborn baby because of domestic violence, even though it was physically by him. Somehow the courts believed that the father would be a better parent than you, which is really exciting because you usually side with the mother. They usually don't side with the father of children. They always side with the mother. So I'm really surprised about that. And then your case was closed. You met a new man. You married that man, and you two had a child, correct?
No. When they almost give the custody from the first baby to the father, when before me was pregnant, so they don't close. You know what I mean? Let me explain to you. They they open the case. They supposed to be close the case before I do the baby, but they don't do that. They waiting for me they waiting for delivery my second baby with my husband, and they take it when they take out my baby from the hospital. They close the first case, and they continued with my second child.
Okay, so you were pregnant. You were pregnant pretty quick then with your new man in your life, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you already lost your first child, and your first relationship, he stayed away from you, and he's raising a child with another woman. During that time that was happening, you're pregnant, and you got married, and then you two had a child at the hospital, and your brother came over, and you had domestic violence with your brother, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, and that was in front. Who is that in front of? If your child's been given to the other father and the other child has been born, who is it? You argue with your brother when you're pregnant?
No. Before, after.
I'm still confused because you said you had a child at the hospital and they took your child from the hospital.
Oh yeah, because the same day when I fighting with my brother, verbal, not fighting physical, verbal, only verbal.
But that's still wrong. I mean, verbal is still bad. You can't. It's just if you don't hit somebody, verbal is just as bad as hitting somebody. You're not allowed to have domestic violence between people.
But let me explain to you. What the situation in the moment is because I don't say bad words. I don't yelling like louder. No. I will try to talk to him, but he told me after this situation happened in the day when he tried to get out to my home like around 8 p.m. because this situation happened around 2 p.m. in the afternoon. So the hours passed later. My brother told me in my face, I'm sorry, Raquel, because I did this stuff because our aunt, pay me cash money because they don't want to lose the baby because when they told you when the judge give you to your return home, she very scared. She is very scared because she's foster. So she tried to make a plan. Don't lose this child. So she pay me, and that's why I'm come your home. I will try to fighting with you, but you don't fighting with me. But that's why I call the police. I will try to make like a show this stuff, and the social worker come in the same moment. So what I try to talking to you, if this is made, they make this stuff. You know what I mean? They make this stuff because I don't fighting. I never fighting. I don't fighting with my brother. My aunt make a plan for don't lose my baby when she have the when she have the custody. The situation.
Yes, I do. I do understand.
Let me tell you. When the police coming to my home, the social worker come the same moment. It's coincidence, you know.
Yeah.
So in the same moment, the social worker come. They call my child. My child is in the second floor. My husband opened the door to the second floor. He coming to downstairs, and he said, "What's going on with the police here?" And the social worker make a drama. The social worker say, "What's going on? Oh, the baby's scared. The baby's crying." No, my baby never cried. The police, I have evidence because the police don't make a report. The police no make report. don't make anything because the police say everything is fine. Nobody is hitting here. Okay, we can go. They go to my home. They go. They left. And the social worker take my kids with him, and they take from hospital. And he made a report. The baby's scared. The baby crying. This is the situation This is affect the baby. All this stuff. This is lies. So he goes to the court and lies in front of the judge, and the judge put my case back again. That's why the judge say, okay, she had to go to services again, domestic violence, all this stuff. I did the second time. I did again for 3 years more. My services. I don't make any arguments with anyone anymore. So for the second round, when we go to court, I remember we go to court when the baby has 6 years and a half. We go to court again, and the GL say no. We recommend guardian because the baby grew up in this house. So I know the agency, the social work, because the first social worker, he left. So I take another social worker for the rest of the case. It's a new social worker. She recommends return home. So she go to the court with me and she said in front of the judge, we recommend return home. And the GL say no because my aunt talked with the GL on the phone before to go to court, and she crying. How I know? Because my aunts have a good relationship with my mother, and my mother told me in my face, my aunt's crying in front of the GL, and she said, why? I don't want to give the baby back to Raquel because I love this baby. I want the baby to stay with me for the rest of the life. And the GL believed to my aunt. That's why she recommended the guardian. So this is the situation what I tried to explain to you. I don't know you understand what I say.
Well, you said that your aunt is going to get guardianship because she wants that baby. You must have a cute baby. A lot of people want baby. To adopt a baby is a long process. So if you go to CPS, they can get a baby real quick. Also, CPS is very corrupt. They have lots of money, and they give a parent that has guardianship lots of money to take care of that child. So your aunt may want money too on top of that. They don't seem to help out parents. You're stuck with a brother that lied, and you had a bad relationship with your firstborn there, and then with your secondborn, even though you married that guy and you have a child there, you guys let the statute of time run its course. You see, most cases are over within a year or two. It's really hard to open a case when it's closed because a child is bonded with the new mother and father if they've been adopted. And so what's happened with your case, and I'm sad to say that, is that because of the domestic violence, whether it's physical alterations or not, that is why the child was removed. Now, you did complete your services in both cases, and you should have had the child restored. But unbeknownst to you, CPS will lie. Now, you said you had an attorney. Was that a court-appointed attorney, or is that an attorney you hired?
Yeah, I hiring a private attorney, but this attorney never helped me. It's only still my money.
Right. That is sad. That is sad because there are attorneys out there that will rip off money from people. It is really, 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 really sad. Whoever is the second caller coming in, I can only answer one call at a time. So the other person that wants to call in, I can't do two calls at once. But I'm telling you this, Raquel, is that you're under a lot of frustrations because the attorney you hired was probably not the right kind of attorney. You need an attorney that's called a dependency law attorney that's fought CPS. That attorney and you can file a lawsuit against it, but it takes another attorney to file another attorney. You're caught up in a very wicked world. And I know that's not the answer you want to hear, but you can still challenge or make the case open. All you have to do is appeal for it and file it. I have a listener in my room right now. Her name is Faye Manley. She's from Richmond, Kentucky. After 12 to 13 years of fighting her loss of her daughter, she has a case open again. So the case can be opened. It has to be what you explained to me under circumstances that were wrong and stuff. But you're going to need an attorney to do so. And that's going to take a lot of money. And you also got to find the right attorney. Now, speaking of attorneys, I want everybody to listen.
That's why.
Okay.
That's why I called you, because my friend told me you are an attorney. This is true?
No, I'm not an attorney. I'm a loving father who's been in case myself. I want to help others. But I do work for an attorney that you can talk to. His name is Vincent W. Davis. And you can schedule a consultation, a Zoom consultation with one of the best attorneys in the United States. All you have to do is go to this website. Now, it's on my ticket on the bottom of my podcast, and it's https colon / candidly CALENDY.com / apps APPS VWD / Bob Pace, BOBPACE. Now, when you call in, you can get up to 30 minutes of talk time to him for $60. You just use your credit card, and for $60, he will talk to you, and he will tell you how you can navigate and how you can get your child to open the case. It's well worth the $60. It's only $2 a minute. So that's https colon / candidly CALENDLY.com COM APPTS VWD / Bob Pace BOPPACE. So he can help you. And I want to thank you. Hold on 1 second, ma'am. Hold on one second. Hello, this is Bob Pace. Who's trying to call in? Hello? Yeah. Hello, I have a call on another line. I can only talk to one person at a time. How can I help you?
I have a question. I have a CPS case I'm dealing with, and
okay. Right. Can you call me back tomorrow morning, either at 10 o'clock Pacific time or tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific time?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rachel. I had a call that came in, and so I wanted to make sure that they could call back again tomorrow. Now, I have about 4 minutes left of my podcast. What else can I do to help you? Rachel? Raquel?
Yes. I have another question. Just a question. I don't know what it. Is true the babies here in United States, all the kids decide if the kids say, I want to live in this home. In United States, the judge from juvenile court, judge heard the baby. And this is the right in United States. I put an example, like my child say she wants to live with my aunt, and the judge heard the baby. Is this true?
Well, in the state of California, you have to be 12 years old to divorce your parents, to emancipate from your parents. You got to be 12 years old. I do not know the age in Chicago, Illinois, that a child can emancipate their parents, but
So,
they can
like,
do so, but they have to be at least 12 or older, or maybe the Chicago doesn't. When you turn 18, you're an adult and you're no longer in juvenile court or dependency court or family court. You're an adult court. And, it's other laws apply. But when you turn 18, you can choose who you want to live with and so forth. If you're a special needs child, you can get a guardianship. Someone can get a guardianship. Anybody can ask a guardianship to take care of that child as their special needs. So does that answer your question?
that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Rachel, I know that's probably not the answers you want to hear tonight. I know you've gone through a lot of emotional upheaval with your two children, the loss of your two children. The United States is a very democratic society, but I'm afraid that one of its government agency is corrupt. You can't trust CPS. You can never trust them.
What I say,
Yes.
they steal my babies. They steal my babies in my face.
Yes.
I did the services. I complete the services, but
Right.
they never have intention to go back my babies to me. They never have
Well,
intention.
you
know what I mean?
can sue CPS. You need to find an attorney that will sue them, and you can sue CPS for wrongly taking your baby and get awarded lots of money. I'm talking millions of dollars. But you got to find that a lawyer, and it's hard to find. But if you talk to Mr. Davis, he does do civil lawsuits. He does do civil lawsuits both in state and federal court, and he's won millions of dollars. So call him, not call him, but set up a time with him to have a Zoom meeting, and you'll be very pleasantly surprised. Also, keep in mind, I'm on twice a day, 7 days a week. So you can always reach me either at 10 o'clock me in the morning Pacific Standard Time or 7 o'clock at night. And so, I'm around. I'm not going to disappear on you. And so I'm on twice a day, and that's 14 shows a week. So I'm here to help you. I, too, was wrongfully had my children abducted by CPS. And I always tell people, you can't trust them. A case in Prescott, Arizona, there was 8 social workers that wore pink T-shirts that said they're professional child kidnappers. And on the back of the T-shirts, they wrote, "Do you know where your children are at?" Those have been fired as well as the director, but that's the kind of people you're doing with the child protection system. It's a crazy world. They're very corrupt. They do it solely because of money. It's all because of money. And I know that's not the answers you want to hear, but if you keep fighting and keep working the system, you can sue them for wrongfully taking away your baby. You have every right. If they lied to you, that's perjury, and that's against the law to commit perjury. So that is a possibility. So I want to thank you for calling in. I do have to end my podcast because it's 8 o'clock. I want to thank Faye for being in my room as a listener and helping you with your comments, Faye, and all the other listeners. Thank you for the emojis and thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Pacific time. Do not give up on your child. Do not give up on your child.
Okay.
And God bless you, Raquel, and good luck and keep in touch. This is Bob Pace